we've played this deck once before in stream. I think we 4-1'd with it. This is like a pseudo-interesting take on the Red-Green Titan archetype. Nahiri does actually solve some problems this archetype has, which is one, it can kind of have too much air in the mid-game because there's so much mana in it, so she filters through that. And two, she can exile things like Blood Moon, so that's a little bit of flexibility. And we still get to just do kind of the good linear things that the Red-Green Titan deck gets to do consistently. White sideboard cards are also A+. Both Stony Silence and Rest in Peace are very good. Stream Decker, yep. It looks great. Links are enabled. Basically, the rules for chat are act like an adult, you'll be treated like an adult. Act like a child, you'll be treated like a child. Yeah, Golgari Charm's a fine card. I don't know if I'd main deck that, Justin, but I would definitely have them in the 75. My main deck green cards I'd be looking at are probably like Maelstrom Pulse and Abrupt Decay. I got you, Night Stars. I got you. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Alright, so I think I'm just fetch shocking here. I don't think our health total really matters. I'm gonna Farseek for a Sacred Foundry. So we have our white source. I'm glad you became a full-time streamer. You have a nice personality. I thought you were a different guy when I saw you playing SCGs back in the day. It's really tough to gauge people based on small interactions, just watching them play on camera, right? Like, it's very easy to misread body language. I think it's time to stand up, too. I've been sitting for a little bit. Oh, enjoy the ride, chat. We lost our Titan to that Thoughtseize, but thankfully I know how this deck works. Oh no. Oh no, not Blood Moon. Okay, so this is gonna go get basic Forest, and then my other ramp spells will go get basic Plains. Oh look, a Titan. Woohoo! We had a thing there. I set Neferet. Thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. I do appreciate it. So we've got a Titan that's just going to be a 6/6 here. Nahiri gives us a main deck out to this Blood Moon, which is nice. Going on in here. So here's a question. Do I want to sack this? I think I do. If they had Liliana, they'd probably play it. Keeping the Sakura-Tribe Elder in play insulates the Titan against an Edict, but I think I just want to guaranteed play the Titan next turn, because if I miss on a land, I'd have to pitch this, which feels bad. Oh, there isn't a Rex Sage in this main deck, is there? I should check. Don't remember. Oh, geez. The person that resubmitted this deck didn't listen to any of our feedback. Iron, you're killing me, Iron. I remember we played this deck once before, and my feedback was, why isn't there a Reclamation Sage in our deck? And there still is not a Reclamation Sage in our deck. Honestly, I think you should play one in the main deck of this archetype. Red-green. Red-green. I was checking to see if there's one in the main deck, the guy. Because a lot of these decks play one in the main deck, and I think that's a good suggestion. I think you're supposed to play one. Like, if we just had a Reclamation Sage in our main deck, this game would be very over. our opponent could never win. But instead, now we're going to sit here and flounder around and like they have a very real chance. They made themselves discard Lingering Souls. That's funny. So they could Bedlam Reveler. Yeah, I really feel like it's silly to not have a thing in our deck. Yeah, we do have Nahiri to draw, but like again, like they'd be dead in a not close game if I just like the deck was built correctly. I think they might die anyways here, just to a flurry of Titans, but so they probably can't kill our basic forest game 1, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Pact here. I guess it's possible I should put Steve into play here. Instead, I could go like Steve Spirit Guide, just so we're insulated against Liliana Edict. But this blocks their Bedlam Reveler, which is nice. Flashing back looting is very good for us. Yeah, we might just kill them through the Blood Moons. Like, maybe my complaining is unfounded, but we definitely would have killed them despite the Blood Moon if we had a Rex Sage. Look at that. I remembered to pay for my pack trigger. Boop. Boop you on the nose. Just boop you on the nose. Bum ba dum ba dum ba da 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 da. Bum ba dum ba dum ba da 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 da. Bum 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 ba da 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 dun 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 dun. Bum ba dum ba dum ba da 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 da. All right, so I'm gonna trim. I think I just want to trim Spirit Guides in this matchup. Just want to be like I'll have a little bit more action in my deck. I think Emrakul is probably a pretty good draw as well. There's games where we can just cast her. How do I feel about Eidolon of Rhetoric? Oh, Anger's pretty decent. I guess Anger's okay. I'm gonna bring 1 Anger in. I don't know about both. 1 Anger seems fine. Yeah, there's no Sage in the 75. Like, I almost wouldn't fault them for not having one in the main deck because, like, Nahiri does cover some, even if it's pretty free, but, like, no Reclamation Sage in the 75 at all, I think is super wrong. There's Alpine Moons in the deck because Alpine Moon is one-sided. Alpine Moon gets to come in against the mirror match, and it gets to come in against Tron. I don't think Chalice is good enough in this matchup. I would expect my opponent likely still has Culligan's Command in post-board, so having artifacts is kind of a liability for that reason. Four mana cards have to be very, very good to see play in Modern is basically what it comes down to. They binned a Blood Moon, so I assume that means they have another one. Hey, Erston PW, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. And there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. I do appreciate it. All right, let's just Windmill Slam this rest in peace. Rip. Even if they Blood Moon us this turn, we have a Search for Tomorrow suspended. So that's going to go ahead and grab a basic forest for us. And then Steve-O Bandito's here is going to fetch us a second basic forest. And then, again, if they Blood Moon us, we have the Summoner's Pact and we have no... Wow, they don't have Blood Moon. That's so good for us. I guess I'm going to get a basic mountain here. And then, like, I get to Titan them next turn, right? Yep. So this is free because it comes into play untapped off of that. Let's Windmill Splam Primeval Daddy here. And then next turn we're going to get to play another Primeval. Basic planes has actually become pretty common in Mardu Pyromancer. Once upon a time, like the list back from when Jerry Thompson top to the Pro Tour with it weren't playing it, but more have it than don't at this point in my experience. Nahiri? Oh, Magic's great. Boop. Reach over there and boop you on the nose. I played the Mountain because I need my 4th Mountain in play before I trigger this Primeval Titan anyways. Because Valakut doesn't trigger until you have 6 Mountains. Now these come out. And these, I get a bunch of Valakut triggers here. Each of these deal 12. And now, even if they chump block this Primeval Titan a bunch, I get to Summoner's Pact for Sakura-Tribe Elder, and then he'll fetch a Mountain and we'll kill them. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Alright, easy peasy lemon squeezy. The games this archetype wins are just so easy a lot of the time. So incredibly easy. How we doing, folks? Hope everyone's having a good Friday. Got almost 1,000 people in chat. We got this deck, and then we've got Griselbrand to wrap the day up. But thanks for hanging out today. Yeah, this hand looks good. Good, clean turn 3 Nahiri on the play. I think I'm going to go Shock, Suspend, Search for tomorrow. I'm like a little bit sad if they're playing Burn and I shocked on one, but I think leaving this fetch to have options later is good. Instead of making a commitment to what we want to do with it. I am planning to take tomorrow off, because days off every once in a while are great. I worked the last 6. I do plan to be live on Sunday, though. I'm going to be live Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. CST. If you would rather watch Modern rather than the standard Grand Prix that's going to be going on, I'll be live Sunday. I don't know what Turbo Griselbrand is, Ernest. So I don't really have a metric for comparison. Ooh, sweet. We have Alpine Moon in the sideboard, so that'll be pretty good in this matchup. A pretty solid start on our part here. So like any Titan or any Titan or Scapeshift should be pretty good here. Just using Fury of the Horde. That's not an archetype that really exists in my mind in Modern. Ernest, the just straight Fury of the Horde build hasn't been popular in a very long time or ever really that I'm aware of. Whereas Griselbrand is actually like top 8 at Grand Prix and stuff like that. Do you think my opponent's Tron deck is broken? Should they file for compensation? It's really weird that their Tron deck didn't have a different Tron piece to play. Modern has a lot going on. Modern. There are literally 30 decks on the deck list page of my website right now, and I have at least 4 more that I need to get listed up there. I'm keeping a list of other ones that I need to add as people remind me that we've played them a bunch. And there's just so much going on in this format. And like, our Emrakul is in our sideboard, but just, oh, never mind. There's a Primeval Titan. JK, there's a Primeval Titan. I guess let's plus this first. Alright, so I'm going to get an extra green source here, just in case something funky happens. And then I'm going to get, I'm going to get a Mount Stomping Ground, actually. I'm going to get Stomping Ground and a Valakut here. And then, next turn, I'm going to Nahiri down tick for 8, get another Titan, and then attack with both my Titans and kill them. We actually don't have an Emrakul in our main deck right now. So it's actually a matchup where I'm gonna board Emrakul in, because I think this is a matchup where we do that, but there is not an Emrakul in our main deck. Do we bring in Chalice to the Void in this matchup? What do we think? Is this a Chalice matchup? They have a lot of 1s in their deck. It's definitely an Alpine Moon Emrakul matchup. I'm not sure if I have other things I want to cut for Chalice. The reason why there's no main deck Emrakul is because against a lot of decks in this format, just getting a Primeval Titan is enough to kill them, is what it comes down to. You just don't need the Emrakul, it's win more. The old double dismember. Yep. Alright, so I definitely want these. And honestly, I don't have a lot to cut. I don't think this is a Chalice matchup, chat. I think our linear game plan is a lot better than theirs. I feel like boarding these cards in and cutting a bunch of our ramp is a mistake. I might bring in Stony on the plate. I think Nahiri's very good in this matchup. Like, both Chalice and Stony are slow on the draw. I'm gonna just trim 3 Mana Monkeys and bring in Moon and Emrakul. Also, Chalice Alpine Moon is not a combo. Chalice plus Alpine Moon is not a combo. You think something like a Rule Law effect would be better for the board than Chalice's? Yeah, probably, Slim Lindsay. I think that's very likely the case. Trip, ramp, spell, Scapeshift. I'm mulliganing this. See if we have a game where they Karnos on 3. If they Karnos turn 3 when they're on the play, that's basically game. It's hard to beat Stone Rain with Suspend out of the opponent's deck. I finally made the jump into building my modern deck on MTGO. Thanks to watching you and your deal with traders. Love what you do. Keep the memes going. Thank you, Dynascart Gamer. I'm terrible at usernames. I appreciate it. Magic Online's very good at letting you play lots of Magic. It's another Urza's Tower. Okay, they have the power plant. Okay, so they're going to have turn 4 Tron online at the latest. They could potentially have it next turn if they just have it in their hand, too. Okay, we're going to have turn 3 Nahiri. No, don't take my thoughts, opponent. I like my thoughts. If they take Nahiri here, I'm probably going to go fetch basic mountain, then Cinder Glade, Farseek, Tribe Elder next turn. They could take the Scapeshift, because Scapeshift is like the card that actually kills them. Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to go fetch basic mountain, play plains plus Nahiri. The no-fly list is not, I won't play these. The no-fly list is, I won't play these for $10. No, actually, honestly, Farseek was probably a little bit of a better play overall, just because Farseek, or Sakura-Tribe Elder could potentially block on a future turn. I'm going to concede to an Ulamog here for sure. A lot of things that just kill us here. You could also maybe argue that I'm supposed to go land double ramp there. Okay, didn't matter. Had Ulamog. I'm not a huge fan of the Valakut archetypes in general because the games that this deck both wins and loses tend to not be particularly interesting, in my opinion. I think a lot of the games, you're just kind of doing your thing, and if your thing's good enough, they die, and if it's not good enough, you die. There aren't a lot of really slick or interesting decision points, and the actual combo that you're trying to execute is kind of dry, honestly. Oops. Oh, this sucks. Peace at your feet. Have a good one. Thanks for the support. Yeah, I agree. The Bring to Light and blue-based Scapeshift decks are very good and a lot of fun to play, in my opinion. And again, that's very subjective. If you enjoy playing this archetype, that's not meant as a slight at you. It's just based on my experiences and things that I do and don't like doing. This deck doesn't quite scratch that itch that other Magic decks do. Alright, so you always want to name Urza's Tower with this if they don't have it in play. In general, the Tron land you want to name is one that they don't have in play, because remember, this card turns whichever land you name into a rainbow land. Yeah, Hat Crab Zombie, the last time we played the prison deck, I was just, like, completely spent by the end of it. It's just so tedious to actually win with. I wonder if they have a way to get rid of this Alpine Moon in their deck right now that isn't Karn. There's a non-zero chance that they boarded out both Oblivion Stone. There's a non-zero chance that they not only boarded out Oblivion Stone, but also didn't bring in Claim. You want to name Tower as opposed to the other one explicitly when they're not in play, because this way, if the opponent taps the Tower to destroy the Alpine Moon, when they reassemble Tron, they then have less mana with their reassembled Tron. Alright, well this is a weird series of land draws, but we're getting there. Okay, we get 2 shots at a Titan next turn to breach into play, which is sweet. Yep, and I mean, like, this is the kind of draw that's correct to keep in my mind, regardless of if you hit or not. This is a critical mass deck that I'm playing, and we had Alpine Moon, which is meaningful disruption in this matchup. So the probability play that you need to decide if it's worth making or not is what's more likely to happen. Am I more likely to draw lands with this hand, or am I more likely to win from 4 or 5 cards? And I think we were more likely to draw lands with this hand. If Revel becomes a real deck, does Hoglandia get credit for creating the deck? You said you can't track who creates a deck, but we have video evidence. Oh, Justin. It's a Thought-Knot Seer. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I assume we're going to lose through the breach here. Yeah, I agree, Bino. I agree. I really enjoyed playing blue Scapeshift variants back in the day, too. And I agree with your assessment there 100%. Yeah, we do have 26 lands in our deck. Drawing 4 in a row is pretty fortunate. Drawing 4 in a row is pretty fortunate. Okie doke. Green source with this. This puts us further away from casting. Maybe I should have discarded the search and kept the Stomping Ground. That's possible. The Bring to Light Scapeshift, I have a few videos with it, Bino. It's not terrible. I think it's definitely a little bit weaker in power level in this archetype, but it's more fun to play, and it is competitive. We've definitely played that iteration a few times on stream. I'm a sucker for a good toolbox deck, and that deck's definitely a good toolbox deck. I think we're just down-ticking this Nahiri. Yeah, 7 lands is 18 damage, so 7 land Scapeshift is not lethal next turn. Hopefully we just rip a Primeval Titan, and then that'll be good enough for us. We got the cost 3 here. Just cycling through, sure. Second Seer would be a little scary. Do they have an Oblivion Stone? They do. Okay. That's lethal, right? Yeah, that's lethal. So we get this, we do this, we cast Scapeshift. Gosh, it's nice to be on the side of the table that always has it. Gosh, it's nice to be on the side of the table that always has it. Titan Shift. Always has it, chat. Just never doesn't have it. What are the 3 cards that kill you? Derp, 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 kill you. Alright, how many mountains are in our deck? Let's make sure we don't mess this up. I've got 1 mountain there, 1 mountain there, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. There's 5 mountains missing out of my deck. My deck has a total of how many mountains in it? Let's count them. Alright, so... Oh, we have 13 mountains in our deck? That's so many mountains, chat. It's so many mountains. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. So we get Valakut, 6 mountains. Remember, chat, when you're at 8 lands, each mountain does 6. So we actually only needed 4 mountains in our deck to kill them here. So the fact that we have 8 is, like, nice, but we didn't actually need 8. We only needed 4. Opponent said good games, opponent. Alright, we're 2-0. Slow and steady. We're waiting for the 3rd match to pop. I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging. Hope you're having a good Friday. TGF, good start to your weekend. My name's Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time meme and content producer here on Twitch. I focus primarily on Magic and Modern. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel, or at the very least, checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn some of your cards into other cards directly to their players. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags there. Cool Stuff Inc. buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible without viewers like Anironics, Justin Nivik, and all y'all out there. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, if you are enjoying what you see, hit the follow button. Heading on into our 3rd match with this deck. I think this is just like the type of hands you keep with this deck, right? Like, got a ramp spell and stuff. If we hit a Primeval Titan in our first few draws, we get to breach it and do terrible things to our opponent. Basic planes. Basic planes. Could be humans, could be poop bears. I'm going to prioritize getting my fetch lands out of the way first, just in case they're on Leonin Arbiters. I prioritize getting my mountain count high, so this way if we can just naturally Valakut them, which is nice. They're on a deck full of Ghost Quarters and stuff that could be bad for us. Hopefully they're playing humans. I guess the human matchup might be hard too. Okay, so basic plains number 2 means they're definitely not playing humans. I'm going to go ahead and fetch a basic mountain with this. Again, just prioritizing keeping our mountain count high to turn on our Valakuts ASAP. I have this Arid Mesa in my hand to get white with, should we draw a Nahiri. The treasure deck was better than expected. It was a lot of fun, and Justin paid for me to update it and run it back at some point in the future. Field of Rune's annoying. That's adorable. Sure. Wait, did they pick their clue back up? Weird. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have played that one. Yeah, I shouldn't have played that one. I should have waited, because if I draw a Titan now, I can't start dealing damage with my lands yet. Although I guess they're probably gonna field us. We'll see. I guess they have a 4-turn clock here. Good chance they have at least 2 more power to put into place, so we're realistically on like a 3-turn clock. Unfortunately, our deck full of all lands just drawing a lot of lands this game. That's how it goes sometimes. Yep. So we get one more draw step here. Titan is lethal next turn, assuming they don't have a Path to Exile. Sing the song of the people. Oh no. Oh no, not Leon Arbiter. Alright, so we bring in a couple of angers. I think that's it. That's like all we have to do is some angers. I'm gonna cut a couple of spirit guides and submit. Doesn't seem very good for us. Alright. You missed an opportunity to breach monkey there. Fair assessment. Okay, we've got all the ramp we could ever want, chat, so oh, should have probably played the Windswept Heath there. I guess it doesn't really matter if they have Cat Jesus. We will just pay for it next turn since we're casting Search anyways. Pay for this before mistakes happen. Again, just prioritizing getting mountains out of our deck. Ulamog popped up because Magic Online is a quality piece of software. I am giving them the opportunity to take me off of a color here, but I think that's fine. They're dead to Scapeshift. They're probably dead to Titan. I guess that's true. We could have stopped prioritizing fetching mountains at this point. Just because I have enough in play. Need to get to like 5 is the line we need to get to. So like this Tribe Elder is gonna fetch a basic forest. And this is like one of the reasons why I don't really enjoy this deck in general. Like, this deck I feel like always generates feel bad moments. Either my opponent feels bad because I finally found my thing and ripped it and killed them, or I feel bad because I sat here and just like drew a bunch of lands and died instead of drawing one of my cards that like ends the game on the spot. I just feel like regardless of the outcome, it's just like wasn't a pleasant game for some party. Hank, we're dead, chat. Okie doke. They're pathing me, sure. So I've already paid for the Leonin Arbiter here. So this trigger is going to resolve, and I'll get 2 copies of Valakut. And then I'm going to crack this fetch land, which is going to go ahead and trigger these copies of Valakut. And these are going to kill Leonin Arbiter and Vryn Wingmere. And then if they want to Field of Ruin me next turn, they're going to have to give me a Valakut trigger to do that, which will let me kill Thalia. And then, like, I have this Farseek, which can fetch mountains out of my deck and, like, motorboat down their team. It's like, hoping to tread water, killing their stuff until, Okay, they can take us off both the Valakuts here, but their creatures are going to die to do it. I guess if they have a, I'm actually going to decline this one because I want to leave the mountains in my deck for later for Scapeshift. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inch. Wait. What am I missing? Why didn't this die? I clicked no. That's why it didn't die. Whoops. Oh, I thought I was clicking no to Ghost Quarter. Wasn't I clicking no? Did it lag and I clicked twice? Maybe I just wasn't. I probably just wasn't paying attention. I clicked no twice. Okay, I believe that. Alright, I'm gonna leave this in my hand for now. Dead to Flicker Wisp because I clicked no. I imported the Emrakul in, did I? Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe Emrakul just comes in all the fair matches. If 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I think Emrakul is just supposed to come in all my fair matches. Scapeshift is not lethal at this point. Any mountain gets me my Primeval Titan back, though. That's technically a mountain. Deal. No lift. Thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome and thank you for the support. And I said it wasn't lethal. I was little did we know. No, I did not have 6 mountains left. Nowhere near. I think I had 3 or 4. Its hand's potentially really good, but it's probably a trap. Seems reasonable. So if they have an Arbiter on 2, we could be a little annoyed, but it's not the end of the world either. Yup. Now it's kind of the end of the world. This was a good draw, chat. This was a good draw. That'll do, pig. That'll do. This is a second Leonin Arbiter. Okay, moving along. Moving along. Do 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 do. Not beating the second kitty. Not beating the second kitty. Pretty kitty. That's awesome, twerking. That sounds great. Sign me up. How would you feel about Grixis Delver as a donation deck? It's a bad deck that generates the type of games you're usually into. Seems up your alley. No lift. There's a form below the stream for submitting donation decks through, so just feel free to go ahead and submit it through there, and I'll give you feedback via email to the email account that you list on the form. So bit.ly/Google submit as a shortcut, but otherwise just the form under the queue is the best way to get something in front of my eyes. I'm gonna grab basic planes here, so that way next turn I can go Mountain, cast Nahiri. Painting Blood Moon. God, I love Nahiri. Can we just, like, talk about how much I love Nahiri? And how great she is, and everything she does for us. Oh, I messed up. I should have played Valakut there, because Valakut would have been untapped by the Blood Moon. So, not playing the Valakut there was a mistake. I'm aware that it was a mistake. Let's move on. Snap opting here. So if I packed for Titan next turn, I probably am supposed to get double Forest, right? So I don't die to my pack trigger. I guess because I drew this fetch, I'm about to get remanded. Tilt. Alright, dead to Blood Moon. Yep, yeah, exactly, Zetasar. You gotta strike that balance, right? If the deck is genuinely not good, it needs to be really interesting. If it's both bad and boring, that's just like a bad combination. Just like who's really winning if a deck is both bad and boring? Nobody? Nobody. You're plotting with Christy. You kids. You kids. So Steve-O here is definitely fetching a Braid, okay. Definitely fetching a basic forest. There is a form below the stream. You can fill that out to get my opinion on if I would play a deck or not. Cryptic me, baby. Ugh. I guess at least, hashtag at least it's not a cryptic command. Alright, Grey Ogre, I choose you. Get your block on, Simian Spirit Guide. Get your block on. Block 'em. Rock 'em, block 'em apes. I mean, at least I have these 6/6s to comfort me, right? I can take solace in that. I have 6/6s to hold me close. They do trample, that's true. They do in fact trample. If they have like double cryptic here, we could be in trouble. They could go counter bounce and then counter the next one. Been remanded. We're getting burned out, chat. Snap bolt, kill me. Click. Alright, dead to lightning bolt. No, casting Breach is really bad there. Showing them that I have Breach in my deck for no reason is terrible. Just gonna cut this and bring in Emrakul, because again, there's no Reclamation Sage in our 75. Should definitely be a Reclamation Sage. Okay. I think Eidolon stopping Snapcaster Mage is not worth it. Eidolon also makes our copies of... Eidolon makes our copies of, what's it called, awkward? Summoner's Pact. So I think making our packs awkward just for the sake of making their Snapcaster Mages worse is not good. Probably just Spirit Guide Nahiri next turn. Like if they have Remand, I can just recast it the following turn with our 4th land. Like, negate will feel a little bit bad, but like I have a follow-up Nahiri, so like, it's not that big of a deal. The thing in the ice, sure. So now, what do I want to discard here? Probably this Farseek, actually. They like bolt this. I wanna have her around still. The Emrakul is there to search with Nahiri's ultimate. Sometimes you also like draw it and then like get to through the breach it, but generally the Emrakul is there for Nahiri's ultimate to go find. Also, like in really long fair games of Magic, you can just like cast the Emrakul, which is sweet too. Alright, since we drew the Primeval Titan, I'm gonna bin the Summoner's Pact. They could, like, turbo through and flip this thing next turn. And, like, attack my Nahiri. Also, like, Lightning Bolts keep the Nahiri off of vaulting as well. Yeah. Like, there's, like, an opt and another Bolt, or, like, an opt and a Snapcaster Mage. Alright, Cryptic can kill me, please. So any instant or sorcery, Nahiri dies here. Yep. We could draw exactly through the breach and potentially get them, like, assuming they have stone nothing, but, like, the chances they have stone nothing are, like, really low. It's not going to beat an active loot house. Bruce, please be constructive. Like, we should bring in Chalice cutting what exactly? Maybe it's better than the Spirit Guides, I guess. But you wanna bring it in to like cut off 8 cantrips. I guess with Thing in the Ice, they're likely to be on all 8 cantrips. That makes it marginally better. Maybe. I really feel like Chalice is supposed to be... Hey, Fetso. But, like, the Chalices are worse if you're... Yeah, the Simian Spirit Guides are kind of mediocre in general. The Spirit Guides are like... The Chalices are also worse without Spirit Guide, though. But I guess, like, turn 2 Chalice is probably just fine with the critical mass of 1-mana spells. Most blue decks in the format don't play enough cantrips to make Chalice good, I don't think. But the fact that they had Thing in the Ice kind of makes that an exception, because Thing in the Ice generally implies they're going to be playing more cantrips. I agree with Holy Diva that Chalice probably wouldn't have accomplished much that game, but I didn't think about bringing it in. There should definitely be a, what's it called in the 75? We've been talking about that a lot. The lack of Reclamation Sage is like really frustrating and annoying, especially when we've played against just like mono Blood Moon decks this league. Nahiri wouldn't have ulted. They would have attacked her with the what's it called? Okay, Storm. Nahiri's gonna be pretty okay here. So this is probably... This is probably... This could be Thing Ascension. It could also be John Finkel's build of Storm from the PT with Pyromancer Ascension back in the main deck. Like it's 2013 again. We went 1-4 with the mono black deck. About as expected. No, I had a search for tomorrow suspended, so if they Blood Mooned us, the search for tomorrow would just get basic planes. Yeah, we played the Revel and Riches deck the league before this one. Our lack of green mana here is kind of annoying, huh? There isn't a general consensus of what decks are best in Modern, because we don't have objective data to pull from. If you want just, like, a generic answer, you could just, like, go check MTG Goldfish. But again, like, there aren't clear objective best decks, really. The decks that are good and bad, you know, there's so many decks that can put up results that the decks you see at top finishes week to week change pretty drastically. Hey, Fail Dice, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. All right, do your thing. Am I dead? Am I dead yet? Scale of 1 to dead. What are we working with here? The point of hiding data is that when formats are bad, you can't objectively point out that formats are overrun with a particular thing that's overbearing. So it gives Wizards of the Coast a scapegoat to be able to say things aren't just bad, you just don't have all the information. Can't say I've ever registered Flame Chap in Worldfire. Nahiri down. If they don't have a remand here, we should be in a pretty okay spot. This Titan just like comes into play and messes them up. No, you got it wrong there. Spirits are better merfolk. And merfolk or humans are better spirits. Whee! Alright, I guess I'm getting... just in case they're on something weird like main deck Blood Moon, I'm just gonna get a basic forest to cover my bases here. Spanish Inquisition is the deck you're thinking of, Jarosol. Also, you can find all of my past streams on my YouTube channel. And all of the deck lists for the decks that we play in those videos is listed in the video description. Lots of good ways to find the information for yourself. I always try to make all my stuff accessible. Do a little bit more than just fire up the stream in the morning. Drawing Valakut makes this attack lethal, right? Submitted a deck list, first time doing it, so no clue what to do. So as a heads up, the thing you... This is a weird build. The golden rule, Morisar, is don't send me dollary dues until I've approved your deck. So once you submit a deck through the thing, I check those usually once every day or every other day, and then I send feedback saying, yes, I'd play this, or no, I wouldn't, etc., etc. I will... So I think I want Rip, Eidolon, Chalice here. What do I want to cut? I think I'm actually cutting Spirit Guide in this matchup. What else do we want to trim here? Maybe how about trimming some breaches? Yeah, there's not a lot of play to it, is basically what it comes down to. I'm gonna do this. If I want Chalice on 2, maybe trimming some of my 2-drops is good. No, I think my ramp spells are pretty important. Leyline of the Void's the more powerful graveyard hate. And because Mardu Pyromancer gets to play Faithless Looting, you get to avoid the drawback, which is you have to draw Leyline of the Void, and it sucks to draw. So this way, you get to play the most powerful graveyard hate in your sideboard, and then when you draw it in the mid game, you just loot through it. Correct, Malv. I tapped all 6 of my lands to cast my Titan. I'm gonna mulligan this. We don't have any of our high impact cards here. Well, sure. Yeah, I think having one bad matchup against popular decks in the format is very common and something that's just like gonna happen even for decks that are very good. Modern's a format where, regardless of what you're playing, you probably have a few unwinnables. It's just how it goes. Pact just comes with extra liability in this matchup because they, what was I gonna say? Pact has extra liability in this matchup because they're on the Blood Moon build. That's what the fetch lands indicate. Playing Chalice for 1 doesn't really have a meaningful impact on their ability to combo off, so I'm just going to go ahead and cast the Farseek here. Nahiri also hedges Blood Moon a small bit because she's able to exile it off the table. I assume we're dead here. The games you don't die when they untap with the Electromancer are just like pretty few and far between. There. Deal. Should have a pretty hard time playing through Chalice on 2. And then I get to play Eidolon next turn and just kind of hang out. God bless us, everyone. This Chalice even means you don't really have to worry about things like remand. Yeah, sometimes they still play a wipe away. Usually they have at least one copy of repeal as well. Usually they should have a repeal also. Repeal will have converted mana cost 1. I wonder if this is just like a selection of cantrips gift. Tron's probably too slow on average against Bridgevine. We've played against a lot of Blood Moon decks in this league. It's the 5th match. This is the 5th match. Nahiri's eating a lot of Blood Moons today. She's a hungry girl. She's a hungry girl. So I'm definitely binning the other gifts and probably Sleight of Hand here, I think. I think I'm going to go ahead and block here. I'm just going to call on the Lightning Bolt. Been the op since I have Eidolon. That's a good point. That's a good point. Just get rid of the instant so that way they can't cantrip twice. It's a good suggestion. Good thing to catch. Nahiri has gobbled a lot of Blood Moons today. Yeah, I think I probably should have ditched Opt plus Gifts Ungiven and given them Slight plus Serum Visions because of the Eidolon in play. I wasn't thinking about the Eidolon instant access. That's a good thing to think about. Microsoft is a real company. Older people, in my experience, Milita, really have a hard time getting past the you always only get what you pay for mindset that comes attached to open source software. You should ask her if she has an Android phone. You should tell her that that's free software too. It's a good like transition to help it make sense basically. Like, hey, you already use free software, you just aren't aware of it. All right, we got the 3-2. We got the 3-2. Put a Reclamation Sage in the main deck. The Simian Spirit Guides were pretty medium overall, honestly. I think that would probably be what I would change. While it's appealing to Spirit Guide out through the breach and slam a Titan into play, I think that's probably just too cute. I think what I would do if I were to play this again is I would cut these. I'd play a Sage in the main deck. I'd play the Emrakul in the main deck. And I'm not sure what else I'd do. Maybe a couple of Renegade Rallier could be okay. I could see that being fine. Maybe you don't have enough fetch lands for that. You can also play Bloodbraid Elf like the other Titan decks do as well. All right, so what are we doing next? We're gonna wrap up with some Griselbrand today, I think. I don't know, like the Chalices were good there against Storm. I think the Chalices are there for the more unfair matchups, and I think they do a good job there. It's time. Who doesn't like to wrap the day up by flooping some piggies into play, you know? What's a couple of floops between friends? I don't think you really need Wear Tear if you have a Rex Sage with the Pacts, and you also have the Nahiris to exile Blood Moons. This deck's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen this deck before, I think this is the most powerful, one of the most powerful